Hey everyone! Today we're going to map out a journey that, let's be honest, most of us hope to avoid, but are also kind of fascinated by. We're talking about the civil court system. We are going to break down exactly what happens, step by step, when you sue someone here in Queensland.
You know the feeling, right? An argument over a bill, a disagreement that just spirals, but when you can't talk it out anymore, what does that path through the legal system actually look like? Well, I can tell you, it's probably not what you've seen in the movies. So, let's dive in.
Okay, first things first. Before you even dream of setting foot in a courtroom, there are these crucial gates you absolutely have to get through. You can't just decide to sue someone on a whim. The system has some very specific, non-negotiable entry requirements.
And the very first ticket you need for this whole journey is something called standing. Put simply, you have to prove you have a real, personal stake in the game. The court needs to see that your rights were directly affected. It's basically the system's bouncer, making sure only people with a legitimate reason get inside.
Right, so once you have standing, you better be ready to move fast. The law has these super strict deadlines, all laid out in acts like the Limitation of Actions Act. If you're claiming unfair dismissal, you've got just 21 days. For defamation, it's a year. A contract dispute without personal injury, 6 years. If you miss these windows, well, your journey is over before it even gets started.
So, you made it past the first gate. Great. Now you have to choose the right battleground. And in Queensland's civil system, the arena you fight in is almost always decided by one simple thing: money. How much is at stake?
You see, the court system here is set up like a ladder. For the smaller disputes, you start on the bottom rung. As the value of your claim goes up, you start climbing higher and higher, from the magistrate's court all the way to the top.
And this number right here is the key to that first level. If your whole dispute is worth $150,000 or less, your journey starts, and honestly probably ends, in the magistrate's court. This is where most minor civil disputes get sorted out.
Now, for the more serious claims, you climb up to the next rung on the ladder. The district court. This is where they handle disputes valued between $150,000 and $750,000. It's the middle ground for some pretty significant cases.
And for the biggest legal fights, we're talking anything over $750,000, you are headed to the top of the state ladder, the Supreme Court. It has no upper monetary limit, which means it handles the most complex and high-value civil cases in all of Queensland.
Okay, so you've picked your court. You're probably picturing dramatic courtroom speeches and objections, right? Well, pump the brakes. Long before anyone says a word to a judge, a massive battle is fought entirely on paper. Welcome to the paper chase.
This whole phase is called pleadings. And no, it's not about pleading your case emotionally. These are super-structured, formal documents where each side officially lays out their version of events and their legal arguments. It's basically where the battle lines are drawn in the sand.
And this whole process is like a strategic game of chess. The plaintiff, that's the person suing, makes the first move with a statement of claim. Then the defendant responds with their notice of defense. They might even launch their own attack with a counterclaim. Then the plaintiff gets a final move with a reply. It's a very calculated exchange.
Once those battle lines are set, it's time for some intel gathering. This is where disclosure comes in, which means both sides have to show their cards and share all the relevant documents. Then there are interrogatories, which are basically formal written questions to pin down the other side's story. The goal here is no surprises. Everyone sees the evidence before the main event. So, we've gone through all this prep, we've gathered all the evidence, we're heading straight for a big trial, right? Well, here is the biggest plot twist in this entire legal journey. Turns out the most common destination isn't a courtroom at all. You see, the system itself is actively trying to get you to take an off-ramp. The courts strongly encourage everyone to settle. They really want you to find a way to agree before you ever get to a final hearing. The goal is resolution, not necessarily a fight to the death. So, just how effective is all this encouragement? Well, get ready for this. It's estimated that a staggering 99% of civil cases in Queensland settle before ever reaching a final judgment. Just let that sink in. Almost every single case ends this way.
Yup. For nearly everyone who starts this journey, the final destination is a settlement agreement, not a judge's verdict. And why is that? It's simple, really. A full trial is ridiculously expensive, it takes forever, and you never know who's going to win. Settlement gives you a guaranteed outcome, and that's an offer that most people logically just can't refuse.
But what about that tiny 1%? What about the rare cases that don't take the off-ramp and actually go all the way?
Well, let's look at what happens when a case makes it to trial and finally gets a judgment.
If the court sides with the plaintiff, the most common outcome is damages, which is just a legal term for money. It usually comes in two flavors. You've got liquidated damages, which can be calculated precisely from a contract. Then you have unliquidated damages, where the court has to estimate a dollar value for the harm done, which is common in cases like negligence.
But, sometimes money just can't fix the problem. That's when a court can issue an injunction. This is a really powerful order that either forces someone to stop doing something harmful or start doing something to fix a problem. It's about controlling actions, not just handing over cash.
And believe it or not, the journey still doesn't quite end with the verdict. First, there's the matter of costs. The general rule is that the loser has to pay the winner's legal bills. Ouch. And second, if the losing side thinks the judge made a major legal mistake, they can try to start a whole new journey and appeal to an even higher court. And that brings us to our final thought for today. After mapping out this entire complex journey, we're left with a really interesting question. If 99% of cases get resolved before a final decision, what does that tell us about the real purpose of our civil court system? Is its main job to deliver verdicts from on high? Or is it really designed to be the ultimate pressure point that forces people to sit down and find their own solution? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for joining me.